Hello, Lurie Elementary School. This is Mrs. Weikle. I have a lesson for you on fractions. And of course, if you look at the screen, you will see yummy fractions. Love food. Do you? Look, we have pizza, we have Hershey bars, and we have donuts and crackers and corn and popsicles and cookies. Fractions can be fun. Let's get started. All right, so what are fractions then? Some of you haven't really dug right into it as your age, but that's okay. We can learn now. That's the cool part. Fractions is a number that represents a whole number. And let's think about, what is a whole number? A whole number of things like 1, 2, 3, 4, things we learned in kindergarten. And we divide those whole numbers into equal parts. Yes, each of us want to make sure they're equal and the same for everybody. So when we divide them, they have to be the same. So where do we use fractions? Think a moment. Fractions are found everywhere among us, but here's a few ideas. In the United States, we use fractions in our rulers. We use it in cooking. Look at this measuring cup. We have 1/2, 2/3, oh, 1 whole cup. So we can use it there. Oh, yummy pizza! Yummy, yummy, yummy. Have you ever seen an orange sign that said row work ahead? 1/2 of a mile? That tells us how close we are to that road work. In fractions. We use it in construction, such as building big buildings like in the city, or your parents may use it when building houses around here, or roads, or even gardens. Also, you may have paid attention and you may not have, but there are fractions on our gas tank signs. 9/10. Now, my 4th graders should know what 9/10 means. That's 90 cents. That's 9 out of a whole dollar. So that's $3.27 and 90 cents more added on. So as we look, and I've gotten you hungry thinking about food, let's look at this. Dear old Hershey bar here has a whole piece there. That whole candy bar there is a whole. Now look at that. How many pieces is that candy bar divided into? 12. That's right. So this candy bar's whole is a 12. Now, I don't have a pretty looking candy bar here. I've made a copy of it so we can write over top of the word Hershey. So let's look at this. If this is divided into 12 parts, let's look at that. We have 1/12 here. Wait a minute, how did I get that 12 on the bottom? That 12 on the bottom is the denominator, and that tells me how many pieces it is. And this is just 1 here out of 12. So then I have 2 out of 12. Then 3 out of 12. Then 4 out of 12. 5 out of 12. 6 out of 12. 7 out of 12. 8 out of 12. 9 out of 12. 10 out of 12. 11 out of 12. And 1 whole, 12 out of 12. So our denominator, which is the bottom number of a fraction, tells me how many pieces I've divided my whole into. The top number tells me how many numbers or how many blocks I'm working with. So if I just eat this one block here, what is the fraction for that? That's right, 1 out of 12, because I only ate 1 out of the 12 blocks. Now, let's think about this a moment again. How many pieces was this divided into? 12. So is that my numerator or is that my denominator? The number of pieces I divided into is my denominator. Now, I'm a little bit more hungry. So what if I eat 6 out of 12? I eat this whole bit right here. That's my, what if I put a 6 up there? What is that called? That's my numerator. Now, numerator tells me how many pieces I'm going to eat or use or colored in, depending on what we're looking at. Now, as you get older, you're going to be using some vocabulary that may be different. 4th and 5th grade students know this word. The word that we're going to be looking at is what is its equivalent fraction. I just used the word equivalent. What does that mean? Let's look at this word. Does it look like another word you may have used ever? Look at this word right here, equivalent. Equivalent means equal. There are fractions that are equal to each other depending on how I divide it. So equal. Now, if I look at this and I put a box, this purple box around this, now I've divided this candy bar into 6 parts, and I have another side of this candy bar that's divided into another. So if my 2 purples, I have divided this candy bar now not into 12, but 2. Now if I eat this whole candy bar here that I've colored purple, how many of those 2 pieces did I eat? I ate 1 out of 2. But look here, if you look really close to those red colors, let me do away with my drawings a moment. I have 6 of them. So 1/2 is equal to 6/12. So I can change how fractions are divided even on different pieces of the whole. Wow, how neat is that? So let's see if we can make some more equivalent fractions. Okay, we just figured out that 6/12 is equivalent to 1/2. Let's look to see if we can come up with another way to divide this candy bar, not into 12ths, but another way. Watch, let's see. What if I divided them vertically? Here, here, and here. Now I have 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts. So now let's think about it. Now I've divided this candy bar into 4 parts. So what is my denominator now? 4. All right, awesome. So 4 is my new denominator because I have, if you look at the purple, this is 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts. That's 4 parts. Now, what if I got hungry and I decided to eat this whole section here? How much of that section did I eat? 1 out of 4. So that's 1/4. So depending on how we equally divide our candy bar, our denominator can change. I went from 12 parts now to 4 parts. Wait a minute. A while ago we talked about a word named equivalent. What do you think the equivalent fraction might be? Looking at this part here, how many pieces is in 1/4? 1, 2, 3, and our denominator originally was 12. So guess what? 3/12 is equal to 1/4. How marvelous is that? We just figured out the equivalent fraction, the equal fraction. Let's see if we can come up with something else. All right, we're still talking about equivalent fractions. Let's look here. Let's change. We did vertically a while ago. Could we go horizontally? Do you know what horizontal means? Horizontal means I could divide it this way. That's one piece. Right here is one piece that I cut horizontally. Here's 2 pieces that I cut horizontally. Here's 3 pieces that I cut horizontally. So now, how many pieces have I cut this candy bar into now? 1, 2, 3. So that's thirds. We call that thirds or threes. We cut them in 3 parts. So now let's say I want to eat this right here. How many of those thirds did I eat? 1 out of 3. Now I got really hungry and I decided I wanted to eat this row as well. How many rows did I eat? How many rows do I have colored squiggly blue? That's right, 2. But you know, we've been talking about equivalent fractions. Wonder how many equivalent fractions this could be. Now, how many parts did we originally have in this Hershey bar? That's right, 12. So now we're going to count how many pieces that I've colored in the blue squiggly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces have been colored in, so which means 2/3 is equal to 8/12. Think of all the different ways we could divide this. But remember, in order to make a fair fraction, all our fractions have to be divided equally because I want the same amount of candy bar that you got. What do you think? Is that fair? Fractions are not scary, guys. Just remember that you can do a lot with fractions. Fractions are yummy. Think of all the food you can use fractions with. Donuts, pizza, ice cream, popsicles, cookies, cakes, all these yummy things. What an amazing thing we can do. If you would like to listen to a great book, here's a link. It is the Hershey book that goes along with what we've talked about. The Hershey's Fraction book. That will add some reading into your fractions. Guys, I love you. I hope you're staying safe. We miss you at Lear Elementary School. And stay safe, and we will see you in August. See you soon.